You have supported this event for years. Why?
Well, I mean, cancer is a tough opponent. And if you're going to fight cancer, you better have tough people who are resilient, relentless, courageous, gutsy. And Dick Vitale is that to me. Everybody that goes to this event, Graham, leaves that room feeling that they want to be better people. And that, to me, is a more important takeaway than the millions of dollars they raise.
It's always somewhat of an emotional roller coaster. There's sadness in it because there's very real tragedy associated with the fight against cancer. But I think we all leave uplifted that we're doing positive things. And Dick has been at the forefront of this for a long time. It's not just, this didn't just happen when cancer hit him. Dick's been a tireless warrior in this fight against cancer, and there's been no one more instrumental to the success of the V Foundation than Dick Vitale.
What made you decide to get involved here?
First, it was Dick. You know, I went to the first event he had at his house in his backyard under a tent. Seeing Dick do it and join him in this and see where he's brought this since that first, I think we had 300 people there. It's inspirational.
Tonight we've got almost 1,000 people in the ballroom. We'll raise somewhere in the neighborhood of $10 million. You see the love and respect for Dick. It's 17 years this year, so it's growing every year. I mean, it truly continues to grow. I don't know how they're going to continue to be able to have it here at this hotel. It's bursting at the seams.
The number of people who show up for this event, the celebrities, the college basketball coaches that fly in from all over the country, they don't even think twice about it. They just do it.
When you donate to help people, that goes a long ways. It's forever. Those shoes and these suits and these watches and these cars and all that sort of stuff that you so tight on wanting to write a check for, you can't take that with you.
If you think about 4 cents of every dollar dedicated to pediatric cancer, that seems like a shockingly low number, and it is. And I think that through his efforts to raise awareness on that and draw dollars to it, it's powerful. I've gotten to know a lot of the young cancer patients who are part of his team and their families, and it's kind of neat to come back year after year and watch them grow up, and they continue to battle and thrive.
I think there's a message, a singular message to many of the kids that are in that crowd that have survived, that we're here for you. You're not on your own. The parents, this is not just a one-day thing. You deal with it every single day. And Dick and Lorraine, ESPN, the V Foundation, we have your back.
That 7-month period when it was melanoma, they thought it was bile duct cancer, then lymphoma, and then the precancerous dysplasia on the vocal cords. What are you thinking with regards to him as he's going through all that?
Well, I mean, someone you work with so many years and you care about so much, to feel their emotion in such a raw way over the phone when he told me what the diagnosis was. And you can tell the fear that he felt, and you're trying to figure out what to say. But the support group around him is so incredibly powerful. 3 generations of the Vitale family just giving support and love and tough love when needed, because Dick is a stubborn son of a bitch, and sometimes it takes that tough love.
He spoke quite emotionally about the Players Tribune article that you wrote about him. Tell me a little bit about your thinking and what went into that.
Well, I mean, Dick's battle against cancer has been a public one, and he's a public person. And while some people may choose to approach it privately, that's not who he is. So I think when he was sidelined for a period, just wanted to let him know how much we missed him, and we were always thinking of him and how important he is not only to all of us individually, but how important he is to the game.
You remember what his reaction was?
He texted me right away, and he doesn't send short texts. I don't know if you know that.
Yes.
He sends really long ones.
And lots of them.
And then some of it was in caps. So I think I responded by, "Why are you yelling at me?"
I think he'll tell you the toughest part was when he could not talk for 3 months. He is the guy that he wants to experience everybody in the room, and he needs to talk to you, and you need to talk to him.
I mean, the pain was real for him. That robbed him of his joy. Dickie V on a whiteboard is almost comical to think about. That's how he has to communicate. But He was still getting his message out to the world by whatever way he could.
I think Lorraine refers to that as the glory days of their marriage. but Lorraine's done an amazing job. There's no way that he would be as courageous, as spirited, without Lorraine pushing him and being there for him. The fact that Dick did all this for others, and then ultimately he wound up going through it himself. There's something unbelievably cruel about it, but there's also something unbelievably beautiful about it, especially with the way he and his family and all of his friends have handled this. It's been, dignity, grace, courage, and a spirit that you can't put into words.
For the last 7 months, him and I have been texting, updating what's going on. Every time I ask, how you feeling? We've got to do more. I've got to do more. And it's not about his health. I've got to do more for the Gala.
I mean, Dick's vocal cords may have been MIA for a while, but the texting fingers were given 110%. And you would get these daily texts, and you couldn't believe someone who was in the throes of their own serious, multiple battles with cancer. His focus was still entirely on this event and raising dollars for these kids.
I'm overwhelmed by the love I've received from so many of you. But remember, the star of stars in this room are those kids. And please, let's continue to help those kids.
This is his legacy. He is a Hall of Famer through and through, multiple Hall of Fames. And when it comes to college basketball, the sport of basketball, when it comes to broadcasting, when he goes down and people remember Dick Vitale long term, what was his lasting legacy? It's what he's doing here with the Gala, him and Lorraine. To be able to talk about raising $50 million for pediatric cancer research in 17 years, it's unheard of.
How would you describe his passion?
His passion's unmatched, right? But it's inspirational, and you see him impacting lives. Like, he remembers every kid's name, the parent's name. It makes you want to help him in his work.
Dick Vitale's passion is exactly what you see, and when he applies it, whether it's to the Syracuse zone or somebody else's pressing defense or it's pediatric cancer, he is going to get it right.
There's no other person like him, and whether you're with him in a day-to-day or when he's on the air, he's the same person. That's what's beautiful about him.
I first met him, I was a student at Syracuse, and I started doing talent stats and production. So one of the first games I worked, Dickie B was an analyst, and I remember calling my dad that night saying, I got paid $50, I got to sit in the front row, and I sat next to this bald guy who wouldn't stop talking, who had more energy than any person I'd ever met.
Favorite Dickie V memory?
Wow. Oh, this is a really good one. I remember when I was up for the ESPN job. It was 2006. I call him up and say, hey, listen, you may get a call from the talent department as they do like a background check. Is it okay I put your name on there? Dick, as soon as he got off the phone, went and called the talent department, and he went off like for about 15 minutes about, you gotta hire this young man, he's really good, he's the future and all this stuff. So now Dick introduces me as, I'm the guy that got him to ESPN. I'm the reason, and we get a kick out of that.
I was coming out of my hotel room in Chicago to go to a workout. We were all going together, and as I opened the hotel room door and was walking out, I almost got hit by what I thought was a car coming by, and it was Vitale. He was doing wind sprints up and down the hallway, and I was like, what is wrong with you? I was wiped out from just a little bit of work we were doing. Here he's running wind sprints when he had some spare time.
My lowest point in broadcasting was when Dick Vitale drove me to near insanity, and I blew up at him in a commercial break, and he took the mic off and I just about walked off the set mid-show. And he was right to. I completely lost my cool. We apologized. In 2 seconds it was over, and by the end of the show it was forgotten. That's when you know you work with somebody that you love. When Dick does not have a glass jaw, and you can blow up at him and scream at him and drop F-bombs on him, and he's still okay with that 30 seconds later.
On the air, he goes, hey, Sandy, baby, how many timeouts does the Cuse have left? And I remember my parents got a big kick out of that, the first on-air mention, on television.
Best Dickie V impression?
He's a PT-peer, baby.
He's a PT-peer. You're awesome, baby.
It's awesome, baby.
Lorraine! He always calls for Lorraine when he needs something. She always bears the brunt of it. Lorraine!